not as hard as you were expecting it to be. However, it also was, maybe a little bit of a problem that it wasn't as hard as you thought it was
Yeah,
gonna
I'm just
be.
gonna look at them, reach up to my helmet, pop off a cigarette from the literally the duct taped cigarette pack on it, and just smoke it. I'm like, well,
Well, and
howdy neighbors.
nobody's immediately moving.
Does
Uh, to give
anyone
you
care for a smoke?
a quick rundown, these are clearly pirates. These two are currently unarmed and on their knees and are definitely
Hostages.
under guard. These guys are standing in perfect rows, straight up and down, with this guy eyeing them like he's not sure what he's looking at. And when you're like, oh, can I, like, anybody else want to smoke? Just a voice comes from behind the big guy here that's just, oh, that would be lovely, but I'm not willing to get that close at the moment. So let's all stand exactly where we are for the second and have a pleasant little chat. How's that sound?
Well, I
Just
can do you one better. I'm not exactly in charge.
No. You're doing things exactly where I need you to do them right in this exact moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to put this forward. If anybody moves in this moment, these fine gentlemen here in front of me are going to open fire, and that will be very unpleasant for everybody involved, and nobody really wants that. But instead, what I'm going to say we're going to do, it's going to be very simple, very straightforward. Nobody's going to get hurt or anything. We're going to take our little hostages here. We're going to move them into one of the little cargo bays behind us. We're going to put ourselves into a nice little box, a corner, as it were. And you and your fine folk can move into this larger space here, get comfortable. And then once all that's set, me and whoever's in charge can have a little negotiation in regards to how to proceed. How's that sound for all of you? I'm not really giving you a choice, to clarify, but, I still would like to feel like we're all cooperating here.
I'm gonna take a really long drag, like just completely drain the cigarette. And I let out the breath. Well, I'm not. I've been told I'm not the best person to do the talkings.
The lieutenant's voice kind of comes over your radios. It's fine. We're not looking to get hostages killed right this second.
But the voices in my head say, let's some good instructions. Shouldn't be it's amenable stuff.
And she's just like, great, okay. So we are going to leave a guard at the cross section for where the cargo is. We're not going to shoot at you so long as you don't shoot at us. And just do try to remember that we do have hostages. And while we would very much rather not shoot them, hostages are worth more alive than they are dead. They are currently a bargaining piece we cannot, cannot afford not to be willing to shoot. So, with all that said, we're going to start moving. Just stay there, okay? Okay. And a couple of the guys are actually going to start moving hostages. Is there anything you would like to do in the meantime?
I'm gonna get out of my crouched position because it's painful. I'm just gonna kind of stretch like, hey, I'm not moving.
No one's stopping you from getting out of the crouch.
Just gonna pull another cigarette from my helmet.
The big guy with the beard's going to light up a cigar as he's waiting.
So, what do you all go by?
And she's just kind of behind the big guy, just Captain Fortuna. Hello there.
Fortuna's whose?
My own fortune.
Well, I'm talking about like, does your band of fellows have a name, or is it just Fortuna's band?
Oh, yes. No, we're part of the Royal Brigands.
Fortuna's Royal Brigands, or you're part of the Brigands?
Part of the Brigands. It's just Fortuna's crew otherwise.
Okay. Gotta get the pronouns right, you know.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, I appreciate asking for that, as we are rather much happy with our position in the world, and would like to continue living in it, mind you. You can pass that along to your boss, that we do prefer living over dying over loot. So, me and my boys here are going to fall back, and then you guys can just come on in. Make yourselves at home and comfortable. As they're going to start backing out.
I poke my head in the door and be like, looks all clear. Ish.
And just Lieutenant's voice is going to come out from behind you. Go on in.
Blast is just going to step over him and move into the room.
Room looks pretty clear. And one of the people is exactly where they said he would be, at the end of the hall there.
Just moves into a position where he can watch him.
Oh yeah. You're not going to be alone, as the squad you're with immediately starts arranging themselves into pseudo-firing line.
Can I do an awareness of the room as I see radioactive barrels?
You may indeed do an awareness of the room.
Blast is going to point over into this corner, saying body.
Yeah. Okay. Your first instinct is, oh, that's radioactive. Second instinct, when you're looking at it a little bit closer, you actually are fairly familiar with these sort of barrels. It is not radioactive. It's waste. Bio-waste.
I see.
A lot of bio-waste. Oops, sorry.
It's alright.
I'm moving NPCs around. You keep stepping on them. And
You're stepping on me.
Oh, yes. And Lieutenant Zhao is just kind of look over the room, look at the body, and be like, one of the medics, check on him. I'm going to presume he was killed by gunshots. Probably resisted.
Go over to the lieutenant and let them know my findings.
She's just got to be like, huh? Oh. I guess it's not too surprising that there's bio-waste. Actually, no, that is weird. What am I thinking? That's very weird. Why would there be bio-waste on here?
Anyone think of the 6 thralls? Were weird.
When they moved out of this area, they moved almost in lockstep. Even notedly, even the pirates looked a little weirded out by how they moved.
Did they remind me of anything from prior battles?
No, not particularly.
Anyone thinking hive mind thrall drone thingies? No, just me.
Has to be some sort of insect race, I'd assume.
All I can say is this facility is drawing a lot of power, and if the bio-waste is what's charging it, that's a lot of bio-waste. There's a lot of bio.
Why would
Biogenerator?
No, I think it's a best guess. They're either unearthed through this thing or made in here.
I think they're making it. I think you're on the right track there.
I wouldn't say bio-waste is a fuel source. I'd say bio-waste is, well, failed
Construction
experiments.
materials.
Yeah.
1 second.
Usually, for creating
Sorry.
organic matter, you need a large energy source. Don't know where
Yeah,
I heard that.
Zhao's just gonna kind of raise an eyebrow at you and be like, right, don't know where you heard that, huh? Aren't you into biology?
In a different life.
Right, so she's gonna kind of look at the door over there, look at this, and be like, alright. Well, before we keep moving ourselves around too much, I'm going to voluntold some of you to go check out other parts of the cargo area behind us. Engineer, you, medic, pick Silco. Blast, sharpshooter, and you, points another trooper. You're going to be heading into the cargo over there, as she'll point that way. Go clear it, make sure there's not more people. We don't need pirates sneaking up on us.
Blast will salute and just start marching
This
towards
way.
the hallway.
Very well, ma'am.
These two are gonna be going with you. Move your butts.
Well, I don't want to get in the way, so.
Oh yeah, no. As you guys are moving in, the trooper with you will be like, open door to the south, close to the north. Me and the sharpshooter will keep an eye on the closed door. Sharpshooter's gonna post up here.
Blast just keeps marching towards the open door.
Where we think we're stealthy. Nope.
I mean, you're something.
It's hard to be stealthy with a giant lizard.
Hey,
You
I
may not
resemble
identify
that
as a
remark.
lizard.
You're not exactly like. You guys kind of showed up in force, so saying that you're being stealthy is never going to be accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in here are just rows after rows of crates. Two of you would recognize these sort of crates pretty quickly as armament crates.
Okay.
Silco, you're not as familiar with weapon crates as the two people who were in the military prior to this, so...
Completely fair.
Blast is just gonna keep moving through the room.
Lieutenant, we got all sorts of hardware in this room.
She's like, copy, check to see what kind and if there's any maker marks.
Copy.
Is there a interface to these things, or is it just a blank cargo container?
That looks like there is some sort... These are, by the way, like 4-high, like, shelving units full of shit.
Sure.
And it looks like they have some sort of interface, but it doesn't respond to you.
No? Okay.
There is a manual release along with the interface, of course, but... When you touch one of the crates... actually, do either of you touch the crates?
I don't need the
Blast is-
touch for interfacing with technology, so I would not be touching the crate.
Well, like I said, it doesn't respond to your technology.
That's true. I'll be looking around the crate for markings and whatnot, if there's any languages or anything foreign.
That's what Blast is doing as well.
You said I'm
For
familiar with it.
touching.
You're familiar with the design. Weapon crates are almost universal in how they're designed.
Sure.
They're always reinforced. They always have a set of locking mechanisms to make sure nobody can just fuck with them.
Said these are
And
4-high?
These are 4 high. This you can get to the 3rd row without having to get up. You need a step stool to get to the 4th.
No, he's just updating the lieutenant. My count 312 transfer armament cases.
There is some writing on it. None of it looks familiar.
All right.
Some of it's definitely just numbers, so there's serial numbers on them, but the actual word writing on it isn't familiar.
Can I get
The numbers are in English. Well, the human common, really. So you do know that these were made by humans, if nothing else.
Can I take a picture of it with the data pad and run it through the translator?
Yes, you can. It's
Will-
an old Earth language. And it is, generally speaking, what you'd expect from military crates. Most of it's just letters and numbers in another language that don't really tell you much. However, there is a company name to them. Arcana Arms.
It's like, Lieutenant, you ever heard of Arcana Arms?
There is a dead silence before shit. Crack one open. Make sure that there's actually equipment in them, please.
Understood. He's gonna look down at the rest. Cover me so in case there's any traps on these things, you guys are out of the blast radius.
Well, they're well clear of any blast radius.
Yeah, but it's still better
It's
safe
fair.
than sorry. And he'll open one of these 2nd level crates.
It will resist a little bit because it is a locked crate. Go ahead and give me a strength test.
Easy peasy.
You get that open nice and easy. And inside are rifles.
He's just gonna go.
They look to be made of a almost brassy material.
He's gonna report. Confirmed. I've got a crate full of brass, metallic-looking rifles.
Alright, copy.
Seal
Secure
it
the
back up.
room. Seal it. Secure the room.
Understood.
And don't keep any for yourselves. Do not.
They'll just start trying to seal the crate back up.
Roll me another strength test just to, like, bend the lock back in place.
How much do these weigh?
These things? They're not as heavy as you actually expected when you try picking one up. Like, they look like they should... Yes, you bend it back in place, you monster. You weren't, you went, okay, if this is full of rifles, this should be, like, I don't know, 100 odd pounds. And when you pick it up, it probably weighs half as much as you'd expect it to.
He's just gonna be like, you want me to just bring one of these crates over for your inspection, Lieutenant?
She's like, no, leave them there. You don't want to be associated with the equipment in there. Just... They're illegal by galactic law, let's put it that way.
We've got another locked door, or closed door down here. Should we check it out after sealing this one?
Yes. I don't want any surprises behind us.
I take off my helmet for a brief moment after I popped open the crate.
If you're going to pop it open, when you touch it, because you aren't just trying to brute force it, a message does pop up in front of you. It is not a traditional screen, but more like words that just appear in the air. There's no projector attached. It is acting for authorization codes.
Have I ever been able, well, that was one of the things I was curious about as well, because you did say they are a crate I'm familiar with, but I'm guessing the interface is not.
No, the language in the interface is not something you're familiar with. However, like I said, weapon crates are pretty universal. You know you could pop one of these if you tried.
I'd like to just pop one of them if I try without breaking.
Just roll me a security.
Okay. You checked one of the ones back there, right?
Yep.
I'll check one up here to see how deep these go.
If they're different classifications as well. You're also checking one on the opposite side that I did, so.
Really gotta get my
I-
int up.
I said security, not tech
Oh,
use.
security.
Be the same thing though,
roll,
wouldn't it? Yeah.
Well, he may have bonuses to security.
Oh, I might.
You should still have your +10 from your equipment. Oh, that's 1 point short. Roll me.
Well, no, doesn't he have a +10 skill with security?
Yeah, I do.
Doesn't he have 2 pips, which would make it 20?
Yeah. If you have a +10 to security, and then your equipment gives you another +10.
Oh, you
that
gave
puts
us
you in
merit yesterday, right?
I gave you 5.
Oh, I can do enough to buy 1 int.
Well, I was gonna say you're at a +10 for your security skill, right?
And with your
Yeah.
tools, that's a further +10, so your goal would be 20 above your basic.
Oh no,
intelligence
I
of
see why he needs
40.
it. I see why he needs it. I just looked at his sheet. Yeah, he's right. He
Uh.
just needs to buy the 1.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Hilarious.
Okay.
Absolutely hilarious. So, yeah, you just needed a pass. You pop it. And inside this one is grenades. That explains why it's lighter than you expected.
Huh.
Since we're on the topic of
I will say, it is odd because normally grenades are not stored in a standard rifle crate.
Sees that. Just like, be advised, Lieutenant. These crates aren't just rifles. We've got a rifle crate loaded with grenades.
Copy. I'm somewhat familiar with what you're dealing with. And to put it to a basic summary, they didn't use traditional weapon management. They just stored everything in the same crate so it was easier to stack.
Hey Silva. What do you think?
Wait, was
Siva?
that me?
Siva, right? Siva.
Yeah.
Siva. What do you think? Maybe a army producing laboratory, and this is its armaments?
That sounds like some sci-fi shit I read.
Blast is just going
I'm
to
gonna
grab you
basically-
before you guys walk by.
Check a couple. I'm gonna see if there's armor somewhere stowed in here.
Well, Blast was grabbing people, so what was Blast doing here?
He's just like, guys, we were told to leave them and check out the sealed door.
But it's a big room. It's gonna take a little bit to, make sure everything's
Look,
okay.
I'm securing the room. I know you probably saw it, but I'm gonna make a double check. Go ahead and make your way all the way over. I'll join you in a moment.
He's just gonna groan. Transfers what they're text message to the lieutenant, and moves up to begin checking the door.
Understood. All right, Mr. Cracking open more boxes. Go ahead and give me. You're just gonna crack open what, 2 or 3 more?
Yeah.
All right, give me a security test per one that you want to open.
Sure.
Silka is going to kind of study this interface. He saw when Blatt kind of touched it, and how it kind of... Did it only pop up for Blatt, or did it pop up for everybody around?
When you touch it, the little display pops up.
The question remains, though, when Blatt touched it, did it only pop up for him?
Oh, yes.
Do I get an additional bonus since I already know how to pop these things?
Yeah, you'll get another plus 10. That still won't save you.
Then I'll need to buy 2 more int.
If you want.
I will. It's gonna be one of my main stats anyways.
You're not exactly on a time crunch right this.
I don't know if this will do anything to the stuff. You know, I'm just gonna buy up to the 5 because you know what? It's one of my main stats anyways. I'm kind of sick of it. All right. Yep. That'll pop that one.
So, Liam, what I'm thinking about is making a mind talent here. And I think this will be my first technomancy power, pretty much. And I'm thinking, like, if there's this stuff in the base already, I bet there's some more stuff that kind of goes about through this interface type. But my thought is this technology, or is this type of some sort of psionics that's popping up here? I'm kind of...
You're not sure.
Yeah.
This is not within your field of study.
Yeah. Maybe something more forbidden lore compared to Scholastic.
It is not. Roll me a raw intelligence test real quick.
Alrighty, I can do that.
This, the way it is to you, touching it, the energy, everything, it feels different from anything you've experienced before.
For sure.
You're going to guess, based off of at least what you know, this is something that, within the Federation, at least, is completely illegal. And because, like, as a researcher, you've done research into a lot of things that you're not supposed to, at least by federal law. And if this doesn't fall within that, then it means it has to fall outside of federal law. The number of things that you've experimented with that were illegal is big enough that, in all likelihood, this is some sort of magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you've experienced psionics before. You know what psionics, how they interact. You would have felt it in your mind as a request rather than as a screen that popped up.
Some sort of magic technology, in a sense.
Exactly. And it doesn't interact with technomancy, right?
Okay.
You could try to expand it, but I'm not going to promise too many results because it's completely outside of what is your wheelhouse.
Sounds good. I'll think about that some more. Maybe if it comes up again, I will go for it.
All right, Mr. Popping Open Other Things, Siva.
Yeah.
You find handguns, and you do find some sort of armor.
How heavy are these things?
What, the suits?
Oh,
Or
just in
crate?
general.
Oh, the armor crates all told about 200 pounds, and there is more than one suit in there. The crates with the rifles are about 150. The handguns are only like 80 pounds, and then the grenade ones are about 50.
No. Okay.
Now, if you need me to look away while you study these boxes,
No, I'm just making a record.
very well. Because on the side, I know you could easily throw one of these boxes inside your forge space and be like, oh, where'd that go?
Who knows how many there are? Yeah,
that would-
Silco, when you walk back in, Silco, you do see her sliding something into a portal. It's not exactly subtle. As you walk in, being like, so if you need to do some cataloging, as you see her just with a glowing portal that's producing heat and you can hear almost the sound of a hammer hitting an anvil in the distance. This is just, well, this is awkward.
Nah, I'm just gonna look over. Don't even say anything. Just close it. Just take a cigarette, light it, and just kind of walk past.
Ah, good.
That'll be armor, Matt, unless you want to just blatantly grab the other two.
Oh no, I blatantly grabbed the others.
Okay, you'll have one of each crate. Congratulations. Blast, you've been staring at a door.
Yep. I'm just doing the standard perception and tech use to see if I see any traps or anything, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
roll it for me, my friend. You have plenty of time while they're dicking around in there.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I hate about Roll20?
What's that?
The little circle at the very bottom of your character sheet. When you have it swapped around, you can't fucking click it. Because it always
yes.
pops up. I'm like, I know I can get rid of it. It just takes patience and double clicking. Double clicking it will help.
So, door looks fine. It didn't look like there's any traps. With the awareness, you notice it's not fucking locked. It's just closed.
He's just going to look back down the hallway, see if anybody's catching up.
You've got the sharpshooter and the other guy and the other guy with you.
He's going to be like, nods to them, opening it up, steps up and hits the open button.
Opens right up. And it's just more crates. Lots more crates.
Oh, God. 4 high again?
4 high again. And they have the same odd words, same serial number.
It's just going to page the lieutenant. Another warehouse, same style crates, same number.
Just make sure there's nobody in there then. Hey, you move your butt back for now, Matt. You took quite some time dicking with boxes. We're giving Blast his time. Because he basically walked in, looked back, went, eh. You good. No, you're good.
He's just going down, checking.
The other two are going up the sides. Yeah, nothing. It's clean.
Alright.
They meet up with you here. They're just. This is weird, right?
Hey, Sarge.
One sec. And he's gonna step over one of the sides and open up a crate in the middle, you know?
When you say Sarge, the other trooper that's with you actually answers this. Turns out he's actually a sergeant.
Hey, Sarge.
He's like, what?
I got looks like it's a full array. I found armor, handguns, pistols, and rifles. Like, it's the full set. This is... This is,
No melee weapons, though, huh?
I only checked 4 crates. Just check the different rows. I can go back and look at the others to see if there is a melee weapon.
It won't matter that much. Though, Blast!
Mm-hmm.
You're opening one of these crates?
Yep.
Yeah, your strength is high enough. I'm not going to bother having you roll. Especially since you're more familiar with the crate.
Yep.
Just like they
tears
listen
open a door.
They listen to you tear open a box, look back at you, and you found one that is full of combat knives.
He's just going to go.
These are not brassy metal, but instead a silvery one.
He's going to
Not
be like,
steel.
found the melee weapons. Pages back to Lieutenant. Further addition, we've got a full spectrum of armaments: melee, short range, assault rifle, grenade, and now knives. Though these knives are silvery instead of bronze.
She's like, copy. This is gonna be great. Alright, come back then. Leave him alone.
Alright. He's just gonna turn back. You know, hollers out. LT says fall back to the room, seal him up.
Sergeant's just, yeah, I heard you. Come on in. Come on out.
Silco's going to go to the door at the bottom, and this is technology based I can interface with, right?
Yes, easily.
All right, so let's lock that up.
Boop.
Steps through the door, rotates.
I think that went on the
hits the close button.
lower level. Liam.
Did it?
Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
Well, there's supposed to be a door there now.
There is a door. I can see through it, but there is a door.
Yeah, I was putting in the lighting for it to boop.
So
I have actual doors to replace those with if you close them.
I usually do that for my dynamic. I make like a little different color line. So one more thing before I go. Can I put encryption on locking doors, or is it more of just like a on-off kind of thing?
You can actually put on. You can either activate the security system, or if you want to try and put in an encryption, you can.
Blast is just going to ask Lieutenant, how sealed do you want these doors?
She's like, just seal them. Don't worry about it.
Oh, alright. I'm not going to bother welding them then.
No, don't weld them. We want to be able to get back in. Without ripping them off the hinges.
Mutter, no fun, mutter.
The sergeant's just, yeah, the no fun group us.
He just starts heading back.
So Silka, you gonna try locking this up?
Yeah, I was thinking about the security system you said, and I was thinking like, oh, is that actually connected to this all? It would make sense for the doors. I was just wondering if I could backtrack into that. But let's just roll the security for the door. It looks like I fumble in my encryption.
Oh, the door's gonna lock, but you're also gonna lock yourself out of it.
Of course.
So it's locked. You just have to crack it.
Yeah. Oh well. I'll get back to that.
Alright. And with that secure...
Wes just
Yes.
heads back, takes a position towards the front, nodding at the lieutenant as he walks by.
Lieutenant's like, alright. There's gonna be one more area for you guys to go clear. Hallway to the north. It's got a pair of gun turrets on it. You're gonna go clear it.
Meet shield on the way.
I want our techs to try and crack the security on those gun turrets before you move into the hallway. It doesn't seem to just fire on you unless you start heading in. Because our guards at the door didn't even get poked at.
Blast will just reach out and wave his hand in front of the door. Not inside, but you know.
No reaction. They'll track it, but no reaction otherwise. And she's like, right, she's actually gonna look at Silco. You could do remote, can't you? And she says that softly where the rest of the group doesn't hear. She's like, you can do remote, can't you?
I seem to have a certain amount of range, but I was just about to tell you about the security. I was messing with the door earlier, and I seem to be able to get to the security system, but I haven't gone too deep into it yet.
If you can get the turrets off, I'd appreciate that.
Of course, Lieutenant. One other thing to...
Alright, if you can access the internal communication, that would be good too.
I'll work on it. One more thing, Lieutenant. Those crates... I couldn't work my magic on them. I think it's more of an actual magic.
I know what they are. And yes, they are.
Okay. Something I haven't really dealt with before, so...
To give you the official name of it, it's called a Magitech. It won't work for you.
Very
And
well.
It is illegal in the extreme.
I can see.
Even
Keep it
for
on the-
us.
We'll keep it on the hush-hush. I haven't told anyone else yet.
Keep it to yourself for now.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, and try getting into the internal communications. If there's activated turrets and the security systems are still running, that means there should still be somebody else in this godforsaken satellite. If you can get a hold of whatever station crew is here and let them know that we're here to save the day, as it were, maybe this will go smoother.
Yes, ma'am.
So, in this room, you do notice there used to be cameras, now that you're looking for them. Somebody definitely shot them out.
Understandable.
But there is otherwise. There's actually intercoms pretty much everywhere, and there is a communication panel in this room.
When in doubt, go for the communication panel.
It looks like somebody was trying to hotwire their way through it.
When in doubt, look for the others. Communication panel.
Hey man, it might still work. You don't know.
Might still work.
I mean, somebody definitely pulled some of the wires apart trying to make it work, but, you know.
I think I'll stick with the doors, actually.
Oh, these right here?
Mm-hmm.
These are cabinets.
Oh, cabinets. They're not
Lockers.
actually... Okay, yeah.
They're lockers.
Worry about that later then, I guess.
Yeah, Blast, nothing tried to shoot at you, by the way.
Enough room, I think. If I step on these wires here. Yeah.
Oh, here, I'll put in a quick square of where the communication panel is. I'll just make it a nice little yellow square. Right. Boop, boop.
Oh, I was... Funny enough. Right in front of her.
Blast, Seven, what do you two want to be doing?
Huh?
What do you two want to be doing?
Blast is just positioning himself to begin moving down the hallway after what's his face finishes attempting the panel. You know?
What about you, Miss Combat Engineer? You do have to move that box. Let me just.
Okay.
You just shove it back, basically.
Oh, that. Okay. Yep.
What are these?
Lockers.
Oh. Anything in them?
You pop one open, and you actually find there is a bunch of workman uniforms. Another one has some Evo suits. You'd have to go through a bunch of them to find more than that, but it looks like it's just Evo suits and workman uniforms.
Go through each of them, looking for ID cards.
Yeah. Roll me a luck test real quick.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay. Opening up one of them, you do find it looks like it's looking at them. In all likelihood, especially when you actually find an ID, you realize these have probably been here for years now. Because the ID you find actually does have like a date and stuff on it, and it's been out of date for at least 10 years, and it is an Alliance military ID.
I'm gonna run it.
Running it through Doomco's systems, it will come up as a valid. Well, not valid, it's expired. But the individual in question comes up in the customer database as a colonel. For
Is he alive?
Special operations colonel, and yes, still alive. Though the ID does not have them marked as a colonel, but rather as a first lieutenant.
So he's been promoted since then.
Yes. Silco.
All right, let's do some security.
Well, first give me a tech use, because that panel is messed up.
Tech use it is.
Oh, it's tech use. Yeah, you get the panel actually functioning once you see what's actually wrong with it.
I just needed this to go here. Man, they don't really know what they're doing, did they?
No, it's clear that it was a bunch of pirates dicking with something, trying to get it to work. It seems they're better at doing locked doors than they are at more complicated electronics.
Hmm.
And you actually get it running almost immediately. And yeah, it's running. It's a communication panel. It's got an ID requirement to it.
Which is why I'm going to make myself an ID.
So you're gonna try to do your thing to it, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I want to give it the hands.
Roll me a security.
Spirit hands.
Roll me a security at a -10, because you already managed to trigger the security once around here. While that makes you more familiar with the system's also currently on alert.
How many lockouts do I have before it goes?
You don't know. You're not that familiar with the system. The ones you're familiar with are Doomco, where you had permissions to access it, and the Federation, which they have a very different software than this.
You find anything in those lockers?
Yeah, as you actually managed to trigger a small security alarm.
I seem to have gotten into the system. But they're not liking my ID.
Yeah. Blast Silly, you are now listening to a small security alarm go beep, 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 beep. It's just like a warning noise, and everybody's already looking over at you
What?
like,
Are you dicking?
"Hmm."
Why are you dicking with the? Ah, jeez. No, yeah, stop it.
I'm just.
So,
Blast is just looking at the turrets, seeing if they're arming.
dude,
They definitely just cycled new rounds in.
could you, Zilgo, please stop playing with the security panel?
Blast is just, he's giving the wave off to the sides to the two guys as he's bracing to go for a full sprint towards these two turrets.
I'm gonna give Silko my cigarette and be like, here, take a puff on this. I got a little something I recovered.
I see. If you give me another try, I could get it, but
No. Here. Are you sure? Are you a technician?
I know my way around, yes. I've just repaired this console.
Well, if that's what you believe, here, try it with this. As they give him the ID.
You're
Perfect.
now holding an actual station ID.
Yes, hopefully with the ghost, and then this for authentication should be a lot easier.
I'll take
Alright.
a heavy drag. Ghosts, huh?
I'll appreciate the assistance.
Eh,
Try again.
It's on you though, man.
When you swipe the ID, it just lets you in, man.
Perfect.
It's a valid ID for the station.
I'll just ask for it back and just clip it on my armor.
It's just level 1. It is level 1 security by the looks of it.
Let's
That's enough to get it.
shut
get
off
it
the
across.
alarm this time. Now that we got
Yeah.
access.
That one you don't have permission to do.
That's okay. That's what I'm gonna try and
That requires level 3.
let's
But you can communicate.
Alright, there's a start.
Check the other lockers in the meantime while he does that.
Go for it. Just more workman uniforms. Nothing particularly interesting.
No more IDs.
Well, Silka, what you doing?
We're gonna try and work our way up the chain from level 1 to level 2, level 3 with this this ID here.
There is an ID card on it, level 1 as well. It looks to be fresh made. Well, newer. There is no actual name or face attached to it. It is just a card for effectively gaining access.
I think
Yes.
I was just thinking, can I, since I have level 1 access, can I look for other employees that would have maybe a different access?
Not at level 1, no. You can, with this, you can see more of the security system without having to...
Yeah, brute force, or not even that, just get in.
Yeah, without having to, like, brute force your way through the initial security. But you'd have to get through the security on each level of access, which is only 3.
Yeah. I already got level 1 in. I was just wondering if I could see any people else so I could try and take theirs over instead. But, alright.
There are some newer ones attached to it. There's only one level 3 ID of the newer ones in system.
Yeah. Okay.
Which you can see what the permissions are called. Level 1 is crew crew permissions.
Mhm.
Level 2 is administrative permissions, and level 3 is research permissions.
I see.
Currently, for the newest entry, there are 4 level 1, 1 level 2, and 1 level 3.
You said that was for the old ones, or that was
That's for what's new.
new? Yeah, yeah.
I was just thinking it'd probably be easier to get an older account going again compared to working off someone who already has access. I just think that because like that one they probably would know, they'd have some things set up to if anything happened to theirs, right?
Blast, you just stand by right now, or do you want to try to charge this thing? How patient is Blast? How patient is he?
Okay.
I think he's thinking. Maybe. Ogre, you there?
Yep.
How patient is Blast?
He's waiting for the first volley from the turrets, or them to power down. He's just prepared to sprint. He is a methodical fucker meant to sit in a position and wait until told to march on the enemy, so he will wait.
Okay. Siva, you've gone through most of the lockers most lockers here. They're pretty much all worthless.
Well, I haven't gone through those and those.
I meant on
and
this
those
side.
and those. I'm not. Yeah.
He's been dicking with that enough. I'm gonna say that you were able to go through like everything on this side of the room. There's you've got a pretty good idea that you're looking at mostly like an area to keep overalls and Evo suits mostly. It's shit that you're supposed to wear over the clothes that you wear into the crew quarters. You don't get them dirty while you're on job.
So this is where the level 1 stuff is.
Basically. You're not gonna... You find, with that 30, you find another ID,
Mhm.
and it's another level 1 ID for maintenance crew, but that's it.
Alright, I'll get that to the lieutenant. I'm like, looks like this area only has level 1 IDs. So,
She's like, I'm not
Um,
surprised.
is he supposed to be
Could you go
Yes.
handle that?
okay? Because there's something going on there. He's in the
He's-
system. but-
Yes, and he's taking too long. Handle it.
Alright. I didn't know if there was something I should let alone or. Alright.
Yeah. Over
Hey,
the comms, the lieutenant's voice is going to come over. Silco, if you can't get it done now, let Siva deal with it. She's the combat engineer anyway.
Very well.
Because you've been debating at that for a little bit.
I was just actually going to make a talent. That's what I was going to do. I was thinking about
Oh,
it.
is that what you're going to do?
Uh,
Well, you still got time for it. So what you want?
mine talent temporary access. So I was thinking of pretty much increases a access by +1 for a short amount of time.
So you want to basically make an addition to your technomancy of being able to increase your access temporarily.
Attached to my technomancy. I figured that's where it would come from.
That would have to be an opposed test to your casting stat
Okay.
against the system. Most systems will have very low defenses, and it will be an opposed. So, because they're not usually intelligent, the only time you might run into problems if it's like a learning system or an AI.
Yeah.
But
if I can at least do that now and get these turrets offline, that would be most appropriate. You want a security?
well, this is going to be. Did you pick a casting stat for your technomancy?
Well, it would be intelligence.
Yeah,
But you
okay.
told me tech use and security was what I would use for technomancy is all.
For just accessing stuff, yes. For using the actual powers you purchase for it, like this,
Right.
then it's going to be off of your actual casting stat.
Intelligence.
It does
then.
allow. it does allow for more powerful effects, because if it was just going to be to your security or tech use, it would just be like a plus 10 bonus.
Right.
Whereas this can actually increase your security clearance.
Okay.
So go ahead and just roll me an opposed intelligence test.
Here is my roll.
Okay,
Failure.
let's see.
Failure?
Yeah, it feels significantly worse. You'll get in.
Okay. If I can here now at this level 2 access, can I create myself an account for?
This is administrative level. It will let you make an account for up to level 2, but
Yes.
researchers have to grant you permission for level 3.
I figured as much, which is why I wanted to set myself at level 2 while I have this temporary, and then work off that later. But right now, let's make level 2 access, and then make friendly for the turrets.
Yeah, with the level 2 access, you can, from here, shut them off.
Okay.
Like, normally, you wouldn't be able to do that from your communication panel, but, I mean...
Yeah, it's connected to somewhere. So.
This one's more connected to the systems than the first thing you tried, which was the lights.
I know. All right, I will step back and say, all good. The turrets are friendly.
As he says that, the turrets will actually fold up.
Blast is just gonna start marching down the hallway. See if anything happens with the turrets, if they re-unfold.
They do not. And you do have a couple guys following on your heels.
And he's just gonna stop at the pile of crates and begin stacking them all to one side.
Looks
Why
like
again? Am
somebody
I the
tried...
technical engineer?
You're the one that trained for it.
Yeah, but obviously Silco.
Well, you know, he did what he did with his talents.
But you were saying it looked like somebody what?
Looks like somebody tried to create a barricade here. Or at least started to.
Are you gonna move up and see if he sees any traps or anything again?
Door is locked. You don't see anything, but the door is definitely locked.
He's just gonna look back. Oi, lockpick. Unless I'm busting through.
Uh,
Could be at least be polite about it.
no, that's fine. Let's go. Excuse me. Pardon me.
Yep, they let you pass.
Alright, little lockpick.
And he's like, that was me being polite.
Follow me,
Uh,
scary.
I'm not taking offense, man. It's all good.
Hey, lockpick, open this. I'm a lockpick now. Okay.
He's just like, I mean, he wasn't trying to be an asshole.
I got
He's just like
Nice.
calling out what he needs.
All right.
Uh.
Door is unlocked. Can be opened when you please.
I'm gonna back up. Alright, I got it this time without auto opening.
You want me to check the cams on the other side?
How did you get cam access?
I haven't looked yet, but I bet I can.
Blast is just gonna step up and open the door.
Alright.
Blast just opens the door.
All right, there's your cameras.
And and there are some more of the people in the armor of the dead man there at a barricade, and he's just going, "Shit, the pirates are through!"
We're Doomco! Doomco!
Blast is just like cocks his head.
I'm gonna yell out.
I thought I
Doomco
painted my
Security
armor for a
Services.
fucking reason.
Hold on. Make some rolls here.
Logic test not to shoot you.
Oh no, they're probably hair triggers, so they're firing anyway. I'm just-
Yeah, one of them is shooting blast.
Okay. What are they
The-
shooting with?
I can hear you.
As he's shooting, you can hear a guy behind him going, "You fucking idiot! Don't shoot!" And he's shooting you with a assault rifle.
Oh, joy.
Is it one of those
Let's see what
special
happens.
ones that we found, or?
No.
Okay.
Let me roll for this guy. Let's see how well he rolled.
Ooh.
Okay.
So he's hitting me.
Yeah.
I can't dodge because at this point that would put everybody behind me in the line of fire of a full auto assault rifle.
Yeah. That's fun.
Thing is, you went
Yup.
full auto, right? Which is degrees of success.
Yep.
It hits, which if so, I know I said this at some point. I don't know if you guys remember, but I am having assault rifles have their pen stack.
Oh no, you didn't. You did not tell us that.
You never told us that.
You told us about the decrease in damage, but not the pen.
That
Ooh.
means I did not write that down anywhere.
Yeah, it wasn't even in the.
So basically, I decided to. I'm gonna write this down somewhere to make sure it's written down somewhere. Because I know I verbally said it at some point, but I'm guessing it got lost in other conversations.
That makes the rotary cannon even more terrifying.
Yes. That's why. Basically, it's using the same concept of real life. Like when it comes to real life small arms. For example, the Thompson submachine gun. I think it was the Tommy gun. It's actually like a 22, right? It's actually like a 22 assault rifle, but it's actually designed to go through armor by just putting so many rounds in the same spot that it eventually just punches through.
Yep. Okay, makes sense.
Same concept. So this gentleman's gonna. It does mean that like a pen of 1 only stacks so far, because it only stacks to his degrees of success.
Mm-hmm.
But it does mean that can fucking hurt sometimes. And he almost maxed out damage.
Okay. Now, is this total damage, or do I get to take soak from each individual hit?
You're gonna soak off that.
Okay. So it doesn't. Some of it doesn't even get through the armor because with armor longer counts as 9 instead of 7. So it's just.
And then your toughness, you have the unnatural, so that's 10 plus the 9. So that's 19 is your soak.
Yeah. He does nothing.
No.
That's
I
why
said
I
you're
asked if it's individual or
and
total.
I answered you're doing it off that total.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said.
That my brain misconnected.
It does. Pen does not go. No, it doesn't really matter on that because of. Let's see. So 13.
No, pen will matter quite a bit.
No, pen doesn't go through the toughness, so it's just reducing your armor.
Yeah, no, that could kill me.
That's
If
12
the pen
damage.
goes up,
That's 12 damage.
Yeah, that drops me down to 3.
2. Oh no, you're right. 3. I did my math wrong for a second there. And this guy is not firing further as he gets shoved against a wall. As this guy's like, "You fucking idiot!" But yeah, that fucking hurt.
Silco, is the medic closer to who's closest medic wise to our big boy? All right, so
You're supposed to be up further than you are currently too. You're with them as their medic. Well, before that, he's getting shoved against a wall. Blash, you've been shot the fuck. Most weapons aren't going to go through your armor, but that was lucky as shit.
Yeah, Blast is just like. The rotary cannon is spinning. And as he's going to page the lieutenant, secondary prisoner force, additional group, fired on me, permission to engage. That hurt.
The sergeant in the group is just gonna who actually has eyes on, is immediately tabbing into the communication, going, "Disregard, disregard, blast stand down." It's a hair trigger. Like if they were still firing, as the guy in charge is now yelling at somebody.
Well, she's just gonna start stomping up.
Hold
ignoring the
back,
fact-
go with the medic.
Ugh.
As these guys are gonna move up to secure. And Lieutenant's like, what the fuck's going on up there? And the sergeant immediately taps in, "Nothing, ma'am, we're handling it."
He's just going to comment, or that private text, hair trigger unloaded a full barrage into my chest.
It was a very well aimed barrage for.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's a headshot, by the way.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. His armor's the
Or-
same across the board, but
So it's unloaded a full barrage into my face. I'm rather angry right now.
yeah. Reasonable, reasonable. No one's saying you're being unreasonable here. But you are being told to stay with the medic.
Blast is-
So,
he's holding position, but that guy is getting such a "I'ma eat you" glare.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect him to roll a 1 or to get 4 5s out of that.
Right?
He's a mook, so I'm not gonna give him Righteous Furies, but that is impressive.
No, that just means Blast is going to request his own species heavy armor. Because fuck this light shit. You know?
Yeah, Silco, Medicaid.
All right.
He's been shot in the fucking face.
You mind crouching down for me? Just get on his
just
tippy
going to-
toes.
He's just going to wrap your waist in his tail and pick you up because he's not crouching to give them an easier shot.
There's a
Pick you up
5.
easily.
Is it degrees
Okay.
of success plus your?
Intelligence
you should-
bonus.
You should have a med kit with a plus 10 as well. So that'll be 7 total.
I remember you giving me a suit once upon a time, but I don't know if I'm still
you
using
have
that or
the,
not.
Yeah, you still have your medical drone. So that'll be a total of plus 20, including the medical kit. So 8 degrees?
What's
Push
your
it.
intelligence bonus?
4, so 12.
Well, okay, I'm down 1.
Looking at it, that could have been extremely dangerous. It almost took one of his eyes out.
Ah, you're
But-
adorable.
He's it's gonna be safer to leave it for now, but for the moment he's got some metal studs in his skull. Right in the bone.
We're gonna have to get that looked at. Back on at the station.
He's just like, shrugs. Nah, I'll just plug into an outlet and it'll melt and harden my skull.
If that's how that works, then
I'm gonna say with your level of medical knowledge and looking at him currently, you're pretty sure that's not how that works. You're like 99% positive that's not how that works.
The last 1% is curious, though.
The last 1% is curious though.
I will refute medical science. This is
mean-
this is how Blast gets subdermal armor.
Taking out bullets, for sure.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you eat enough lead, eventually you'll be lead immune? I don't know. Is it the same concept of you use smaller caliber ammunition to make yourself immune to larger caliber ammunition?
I'm gonna let the sergeant do the talking.
Yeah, the sergeant's talking to this guy as they actually clear out the barricade a bit, and it's just, alright, looks like they're mercs. And it's like, you'll hear him talking over the radio to the lieutenant. He's like, looks like they're mercs working for the actual current owner of the station. Did we get our info request back yet? And she comes back with, yes, the station's supposed to not exist. So, as far as we're concerned, they're criminals until stated otherwise. Don't force any disarmaments yet. But, keep a close eye on them. And he's like, yes, ma'am. He's like, do we have somebody actually trained for negotiations to talk to their boss? And as he says that, the lieutenant starts to say that she's going to do it before she kind of cuts out. Was 1 second, pirates are talking. And after a bit, she's like, all right, we're going to have a management trainee handle that side of things. I'm talking with the good captain here. Management trainee, congratulations. You've been promoted to temporary ambassador.
Thank you, ma'am.
And
Don't embarrass us.
and tech support.
No, he took too long. You're remaining our tech support.
Silco's gonna go up to Matt. It's Siva, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Siva, yeah.
Siva. Silco's going up to Siva and say, I have you an account for any more communication panels that come in. Do you have your data pad?
Sure.
Okay, Silco is going to transfer over the level 2 clearance and be like, have fun with that. Excuse me.
Is there any more clearance above this?
Yeah, haven't got it yet.
Informative. Alright.
To say the least, you're going to be better at hardware than him. Like, he's got a pretty good hardware roll, but it's because he has a very high intelligence more than anything. You actually have bonuses to it.
He's a smarty pants.
He's a smarty pants. So as you kind of approach, the sergeant's like, alright, this is managerial trainee Silco. He's been asked to handle things moving forward. And the gentleman in front of you is just, managerial train. Oh, okay. Doomco's like that, I suppose.
Kind of a big deal.
I will take your word for it. And he's kind of look at you and be like, Captain Rick, I'm in charge of security here.
Some mercenaries, right?
That's right. We work for the owner of this place.
You guys, previous alliance?
I mean, I think some of us are, but we don't work for the Alliance, if that's what you're asking.
That's fine. It seems that the alliance was once the owners, so I'm just getting a brief history of the place.
He shrugs as he's like, I don't know. We've seen some of the logos around, but you'd have to ask our employer if they are willing to chat.
What's your current NDA status for your employer?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think a lot of these things. I'll skip that question then.
We can put a request. Look, let's not talk in a hallway.
That's completely fine.
He's going to look at the guy that pulled the trigger and just be like, Mike, ass here. And he's like, yes, sir. And he's like, go apologize to the big guy. And he's like, do I have to say, shut the fuck up and go do it? And he's like, but he looks like he's gonna eat me. And he's like, just.
Watch the tail.
Blast. The guy that shot you is gonna kind of come up looking very intimidated. He's gonna be like, I apologize for shooting you. I didn't, I kind of panicked. Do you say anything? Or do you just glare at him.
Ogre,
Hmm?
Ogre.
Sorry,
you need to respond to blast.
I'm having problems. I
You good,
Everything
man?
else is closing. Yeah, no, I'm getting messages from family. They have been closed out because it's not important right now. Apologies.
Are you good, man? Like, do you need a
No,
minute?
no, it's family trying to update me on stupid family shit that matters not.
Well, if something important comes up, just let me know. I don't mind pausing for a minute if something actually important comes up.
No,
we can take care of.
it's my mother trying to message me on how my little brother's doing in football and stupid shit like that.
Ah, that's fun.
Right? So, apologies, what I miss.
The guy that shot you is apologizing because his captain told him to, even though he's scared of you already. Because you look like you're going to snap his neck.
It's just going to be the very slow, pointed lean down. Thinks for a minute. Pats him on the head hard enough to where he bounces a bit. Good shot. Do it again and I'll tear your head off.
Yep, got it. Yes, he's got to hurry back to his people. And the captain's like, let's go talk somewhere we can take a seat.
What's the area like behind you? You seem to be in a defense
Living
position.
quarters.
All right.
Living quarters, come on in. And he will lead you guys into here.
Cozy.
And he's like, yep, this is the little cafeteria. These three are gonna come over here. Two of the other Doomco agents are going to set up immediately at the door.
Blast is just going to position himself near this door.
No.
Or, no.
No, if he's gonna set up there, these guys.
Yeah,
gotta
he's
move
just going to
elsewhere.
position himself at this door because he's got a decent view of the entire room from here. And
Yep.
his tail's going to plug into an outlet.
There's actually several power outlets around.
Yeah, he's
So-
just plugging into an outlet, getting a snack.
The captain's just okay. Well, I'm not gonna lie. There's only so much I'm gonna be able to tell you here. But we were doing our normal operations, keeping out and things. Honestly, being bored as hell. When we suddenly got hailed by some pirates demanding to be allowed to board.
We've met with them already.
Yeah, they were. I don't know how they found out that we were even here, but they boarded quick. They jumped in an illegal pointing system. Dangerous as hell to do, but they did it anyway. Got here quicker than we expected, and he kind of shrugs. Well, I'm not sure why you guys are here. Not that I'm ungrateful, but
We're currently dealing with your issue of hostages.
There was an SOS.
Yes, there was an SOS.
who triggered? He looks at the others. Who triggered an SOS? And they're just shrugs all around. Oh.
Maybe
Odd.
this was an inside job.
No. Remember, the report was another ship in the system.
No, it was the station.
Oh, I thought it was another merchant ship in the station.
No, it's
Oh,
your
okay.
SOS came directly from the your station, and
That's-
we, as the nearest individuals in transit, had to make a emergency stop because we were obligated.
Legally
Answer
obligated.
SOS.
Yes, it's part of our contract we have with the system. And
It's more just so you guys are aware. It's actually a galactic law thing. If anybody that has a military or security ID gets an SOS, they are to respond to it.
Yeah. So you can thank either the pirates, one of your men, or somebody of your employer under your employer's other employee.
He's like, I'm not sure. And you guys actually hear a skittering noise that makes actually makes the guys over here jump. As one of those things that you saw it lined up oh so perfectly with the hostages actually comes skittering across the ceiling, just
D-
heading this way.
Blast is just tracking it with the rifle.
It doesn't seem to register you as it gets over to this door and actually goes in through a vent on the ceiling.
Holy mother of aliens! That's
Is that a common
Immediate-
occurrence, Captain?
As the captain didn't react. The guys sitting at the table jumped a bit at its sudden appearance, and just one of them just kind of mutters, "I hate those things." The captain's
Blast is just real quickly when he sees that is going to go, be advised, Lieutenant, those weird insect hive things can transit through the ventilation system.
She's like, "Copy. Let's keep an eye on the vents." The captain, in answering your questions, just, "Oh, them? Yeah, apparently they're hire-ons from the employer. They do a lot of the general maintenance around here. I don't speak their language. They're creepy as hell, though.
Are
I
they?
see.
What are they?
I don't know." He's like, genuinely, I don't. I do not know what those things are.
Of your clearance.
I guess. I mean, boss hasn't told us, and, well, I mean, she's ranted about a few things, but we haven't been told exactly, and they just... He stops, thinks about it. Shit, they're probably the ones that set off the SOS.
Who
They
is
just-
your employer?
Not at liberty.
Oh.
Let's talk to your direct command then. If you guys are on a contract with your
Yeah,
employers.
see, we notified her that you're here.
Was she not happy with reinforcements?
I don't know. She's working. And when she's working, is never a guarantee she'll respond. She hasn't even answered about the pirates.
So, Silko, you wanna give him the news, or should I, tell him?
The news of
So, do you know about the goodies in the crates up to the...
we
You
weren't
don't
supposed to.
We generally stay out of that area. We use some of the crates there for, like, in one of the other cargo sections to, we use it to store some of the materials that the boss uses for her experimentations and the like. But we don't access most of those crates.
Do you have a deniability clause in your contract?
We have a lot of clauses in our contract.
Okay,
Hmm.
They're filled with arcanotech?
What attack?
Yeah, it's just going to be
Magic
wouldn't talk
guns.
about that.
Stupid illegal magic guns.
And he's like, huh.
Which makes
Shrugs.
everyone on base criminals by galactic law.
Oh.
Which is why I was bringing up the deniability clause.
Yeah, and there's so much that it can fund an entire private army.
So you should say private army. Blast, roll me an awareness.
All of us?
Just you.
Probably because you're by the door.
I will give that my reroll because why not?
It's up to you if you want to. You hear the skittering noise, another one of those things in the vent behind, above your head before it comes out.
Blast
you're-
is just. He's just got his freaking weapon pointed. Like, he's ready for it in case it does anything fishy.
And it just pops straight out of the vent and just scurries across the ceiling.
Just
Doesn't even
follows
seem to
it, doesn't
notice you.
jump.
But,
Yep.
you know, since you guys have no idea, your contracts have all sorts of deniability clauses, and you guys should be
But-
fine. As
So
long
you
as
see,
you cooperate and stuff.
you see this thing pause here and then just drop in down, and you hear a splash noise as it hits some sort of liquid down there. And the captain's just, how stupid illegal. How stupid illegal is it?
You're just here to get
life in
paid.
prison or execution.
Great.
Well, normally a single crate would be fine, but each bay has a little over 350 crates apiece,
Yeah, we know how full they are.
and they're filled to the brim.
We were instructed specifically not to access them. Paid not to access them.
Which makes sense. Your clearance is low and theirs are high. So we're just hoping to figure out as much as we can so we can apply deniability to your guys' unit. But you said your boss, not the one in charge of the facility, but the one who directs you.
As far as I'm aware, she owns the facility, runs the facility, is charge of everything in the facility. The only other things we've ever seen in this place are those. She calls them drones.
I see. But she's not the boss of your mercenary group. She just pays you, correct?
I'm in charge.
You're in charge. All
We're
right.
not a big company, but yeah, I'm in charge.
I think the best way forward here is to work with us and have us put a good report for your company instead of having to deal with the rest of what's to come.
I don't know what I can tell you here, because there's not much I can do to help.
But
I just work here, man. I guard this place. I'm supposed to. Mostly, I keep an eye on their delivery groups.
how many men
Which
do you
can't
have?
talk about.
No, I can't talk about the identities of anybody I've seen or anything like that. We have a regular shipment come in of those barrels with whatever chemicals that the boss uses, but that's it. That's all I really know on that front, too. As for how many men, the 2 that are captured, the 3 here, and then the 1 that's dead. Like
So
I
it's a
said, we're not a
small
big
unit.
group.
I see.
We do personal security.
What about the automated stuff?
That was here when we got here.
How much more are we to expect further in?
I honestly couldn't say. I know the
Nice.
boss has got a bunch of. I know there's at least 1 turret in this room, another in the barracks room, a couple guarding the reactor, things like that. But I'm not privy to the full list. I know there's more to the facility, though the boss is the only one that ever goes into it.
Any other researchers?
No. It's her and the drones.
It's Queen and her hive.
No. I can say this much. Whatever else I know about the boss, she's not one of them. I don't know what they are, but I know her species. I've seen them around.
But you can't share.
I'm not allowed to share any private information about my employer. If she was to come up here and talk to you... No, I'm going to try something. Hold on. And he's going to kind of walk over here and make a sharp whistle down the hall. And waits. And after a minute, emerging from one of the maintenance shafts, is one of these things that comes scurrying straight up to him and comes to almost attention. As he's just, alright, let's see. As he goes through his pockets and pulls out he pulls out this, it almost looks like a piece of paper that he sticks to his forehead. Okay, so that should be working. You locate Sari. Retrieve her here. And there's a pause before it scurries away. He's like, alright, as he pulls it off the piece of paper off his helmet. That's how we have to communicate with them. They don't speak any galactic standard languages.
It's good that you
Did I sense any psionic action when that happened? Because I do telepathy
Yes.
and that kind of shit.
Yes, you did, since you were actually looking for it. It was a very low level, but that piece of paper, whatever he did, actually translated to a psionics.
Blast is just going to be like, He's just going to look at the sergeant. Seemingly psionic creatures. That paper's a form of translator.
The captain looks over at you and he's like, is that what it translates to? I actually never figured it out. The paper itself is supposed to be a boss called it a universal translator. I don't know how it works. I didn't ask. I'm paid not to ask questions, alright? But all I ever knew is that it translated it something they understood, and near as I could tell, the boss didn't know what it was.
It's most likely a psionically imbued item designed to communicate a mental impression through a psionic form, so down to its most basic impressions so that it can be understood by any species. The bare bones version of a universal translator.
He actually shrugs again, and he's like, I wouldn't really know, honestly. Sounds right, though. Either way, we have to use it to talk to them. Otherwise, they ignore us, and they seem to know how to maintain the place. Or at least they do now. I remember when I first got here, they were taking things apart all over the place and then putting them back together.
Can I do a basic intelligence test for Scholastic or Common of the Ratman?
Sure, go for it. Matt.
Yeah.
This would, if they were doing that, that would actually explain why the wiring of the doors are weird. You remember me telling you about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they were taking it apart and then rearranging it and putting it back together in whatever form, that would explain why everything looked odd.
Like the critters are doing it?
Yeah, like these things that are scurrying all over the place, they apparently rewired the station after taking it apart.
Is there... any of you guys a tech head?
The boss handles everything like that here. Them and the drones.
I mean,
Or
any of you
drones.
guys tech?
And he's like, no. Silco. Did you roll your thing?
I did, yeah, 2.
No. That's not how the Ratmen work.
Okay.
They make their own technology, and honestly, if you would open that communicator panel up and you weren't unable to decipher any of the wiring in there, then that would tell you it was Rat Tech.
Right.
But just taking it apart and putting it back together? No? It sounds more like just exploration.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Siva, to your question, the captain's just, no. Like, we don't mess with the tech here. I mean, we have had a security tech. He's the one that's dead now. That was...
Probability.
What was that?
Probability.
He's like, yeah. Well, he was looking at some of what they were doing, and all he could tell us is that they were taking it apart and putting it back together. He wasn't an actual engineer or anything.
They put it back together in a weird way. There's a standard way of doing it, and they put it back together in a... It's back.
So Blast, this guy scurries down the wall to where that plug you had your tail shoved in, and shoves its fingers into one of the plugs, and just sits there.
I'm just going to listen at it, you know? It's just that curiosity as he's sitting there listening.
Silence. Absolutely nothing.
Does it seem to be drawing a charge like him?
No, most certainly.
He's just like curious.
And then another one joins it. You guys gonna sit in awkward silence now that they're here?
It's like,
Blast is just studying them.
honestly, Cameric, I think there shouldn't be any issues for y'all. You didn't know, you can't say. As long as, you fully cooperate, I'm pretty sure Doomco will understand.
You do feel, Blast, a small pulse from the one that first started charging as it goes, consumption complete, and leaves. And each one, after it's had its finger in the plug for a while, says the same thing, and leaves. All scurrying through vents.
Curiouser and curiouser.
And the captain's just, look, I'll cooperate with Doomco any day of the week. I know what you guys are like. I know what your company's like. I'm not here to make waves. I'm not here to rock the boat. There's just very little I can tell you guys. I have a bunch of contracts I'm under. If I get officially subpoenaed by a court, I can cooperate. There's lots of things in my shit for if I get a warrant asking for my cooperation, things like that. But you just sitting down and asking me questions, there's only so much I can tell you. I can tell you, we did not set off the SOS. The boss wouldn't set off the SOS. So it means those drone things had to be the ones that set it off. I don't know why they would, but they did.
Assumptions can be made, but nothing concrete.
I'm going to send a message to the lieutenant, give her an update on the brief we've had with this guy. Tell him about the quote-unquote boss and how she is most likely the one with the highest clearance of this place.
You'll get acknowledgement before... you get acknowledgement, but otherwise silence, as she's probably busy at this point.
Fair as much.
Let me make a roll go here. Okay. So, I need an awareness test from Blast.
Are you kidding?
Use those 5 points to get keen tuition if you want.
What would that do?
Allow
What's
you to
your
reroll
Oh,
the minus
sure,
10.
sure. Why not?
It's a minus
It-
10 reroll, but it's not that
It's
bad.
worth it.
It's a nice talent.
Very convenient.
Very convenient in this exact moment.
I should be getting a +10 from my armor anyway, so it would have been the same.
I'm about to say that wouldn't help you with the number of
No.
failures you had, but
It's
well, actually,
not-
I don't know if. Let me double check. I don't think it comes with an awareness bonus. No, it doesn't.
Oh, I was okay.
42.
Then, yeah, -10.
Yep. If you bought keen awareness, just
Yep.
Hey,
So, behind you, you hear the sound of hydraulics. Large hydraulics.
He just turns and readies his weapon at the door. Something big.
Captain Eric's just, what? And then the door opens. After the hydraulic noises have ended, and this woman's here. She just is now staring down a gun and goes, "Oh, I surrender."
He's just going to. It's the hand gestures her to come forward.
It's Captain Rick's gonna kind of move behind him and be like, "Hey, boss." She's like, "Oh, huh." Oh, you're Doomco. Okay, you're not the pirates. Lovely, lovely. And she's actually looking at your armor now. Oh, good. Oh, good. Excuse me. Hello. Hello.
Good day.
I take it the pirate's been handled, Rick, and he's like, I think it's in the process. Oh, good.
Just going to page the lieutenant as she's stepping by, going, "Scientist woman in charge has arrived, currently tentatively in custody."
Which the guys that were at the table do stand up in the presence of the employer arriving. And it's a clear instinct of professionalism more than anything, though, by the looks of it.
hello
It's just
there.
like, hello. Great. So, pirates have been in the process of being here? What do you mean in process? And he's like, I believe Doomco security officer is handling the whole thing.
They have
She's like,
hostages. We're negotiating.
oh, that hostages? That's unfortunate. And he's like, well, I informed you of that. Did you? Oh, I must have missed the message. Sorry. Hello. Thank you so much for coming and assisting us with that little problem. Is there anything I can get you before you leave? Anything to drink? Anything to eat? I think we have some meat left somewhere for the big man there.
How about introductions? Let's start with that.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Introductions. Yes.
You can call me Silco.
You can call me Siri. Hello. I'm
So,
the current resident and owner of this lovely facility that you find yourselves in.
good. So, you own the whole facility then?
Well, within reason.
Can you clarify for me?
Well, I mean, it was an abandoned facility. I have not interfered with any of the old owners, merchandise or products or what have you. So I cannot be like I haven't stolen anything. I've
But
just
you-
been using the place.
But you
know?
have made yourself the researcher here, correct?
Well, I've researching things here. Yes.
I meant for your clearance.
Oh yes.
Something just moved.
I see.
I was just putting down open door texture.
Oh,
Hmm.
cool. Yeah, it's nice.
Blast is just taking a look at what's in that room.
It looks to be sleeping pods.
Hmm. That doesn't explain the heavy hydraulics he is anticipating
not.
a wall moved.
I'm trying to
A little bit
things.
overlapping, yeah.
Liam's trying to get the beautiful map textures, just so. And
Just to line
I really
up.
like the map textures. Me gusta.
Yeah, I'll send you the name of it later. I'm not gonna keep digging with that.
Oh, my GM.
Yes.
I have thermographic vision. Hydraulics would have a rather decent heat signature. Is there a particular section of the floor wall that is warmer than the others?
Once you start focusing with it, let me do. If my thing will cooperate, there we go. That one does right there.
It's just like,
Yes. But yeah, she's like, yes, I'm officially marked as the head researcher in the systems.
Good. Now, I'm not interested in what you do here. We are just... Well, there was a distress signal. We're doing our
No one sent it.
duty.
No one sent it. I don't know where it would be going. No one sent it. You didn't send it, did you, Rick? And he's like, we think the drone sent it. The drones? Oh. Clever little things, aren't they? I didn't think they would figure it out. I didn't think they were smart enough to figure that out. Huh.
If you would be
clearly.
so kind, if you had a list of the current staff that I could give to my higher up, I'm sure they would appreciate that with the current negotiations for your hostages.
Well, staff, Rick here has the full actual staff list. Don't you, Rick? And he's like, I have my crew. And he's like, exactly. She's like, yes, exactly. That's all the staff. Just his crew.
Okay.
and you.
Who's the hey you directed towards?
I said, and you.
She's like, oh, yes, well, I guess me, yes. Oh, I don't really consider that. I don't really consider that. Yes, me, them, and that's it. That's all the staff.
I see.
What about this previous employer talk or previous owner or whatever?
I don't know much about them. I can tell from some of the symbols on the old uniforms and the like that they were Alliance. But other than that, I don't really know much about them.
Oh god, it's one of those things again.
It's just going across the ceiling.
I see. And if they're not part of your crew, which is completely understandable, you wouldn't mind helping us with your current situation, then? Full cooperation?
Well, I mean, within reason.
Within reason, I see.
She's like, there's. I am conducting some very sensitive research here. So, in regards to any of my research, I would need my lawyer present, as I do need to protect my intellectual rights.
Which is completely understandable.
Well, you wouldn't happen to know what's going on with them drone thingies? Oh god, it's
It's going across the wall and it spooks the two there. As it's just it passed very close to them. It didn't touch them, but it passed close on its way through.
I'm guessing the nature research involves.
She's like, "What do you want to know about the drones?"
Are they hostile?
No, they're very docile. Here, watch.
Oh, I
And
don't really want to.
She immediately gets up, whistles, and one of the one that was going around, you can actually hear it turn around on the wall and come back and just stands in front of her. She's like, here, watch, and just slaps it. And it doesn't react. See? We've experimented with them rather thoroughly on this front. Like, here, she just grabs that guy's sidearm. He's like, wait, no, hey, but no! And she just shoots it, and it just stands there.
If
See?
we could
Nothing.
not have those kind of demonstrations anymore, I'd appreciate that.
Is there any kind of signal that came off of this thing, or anything like a warning, or anything like that?
Roll me your influence, because just roll me your influence. That's your casting stat, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't
Roll
have
me your influence.
signy science or anything like that, right?
No. With the plus 10, because I have unnatural, that would be a success.
I didn't add in your thing.
No,
your
I
natural.
forgot.
That's cool. So it is pulsed on an odd brainwave frequency, but yes, you do pick up a signal it sends out immediately upon being shot that just says hostile activity detected.
He's just going to hold up his hand. Do not do that again.
It's like, what? They don't do anything about it.
He's just... There's the looming growl. Do not cause it to call in reinforcements. You have had it announce hostile activity.
just hands the handgun back to the guard as she's like, really? It ain't an announcement. They didn't say anything. Of course, they never make any noises. They never respond to anything.
Look,
I mean,
Blast is
they just...
fluent.
Huh? What?
Blast here, he's fluent in a special type of language. I have no idea what it is, but when he says something, he
Wait,
means it.
Wait. You understood them?
He's just going to...
What language do they speak?
He's going to cock his head.
Do they actually speak in full sentences, short sentences? Are they articulate?
Blast, that's intellectual knowledge. Keep it to yourself.
He's just going to grin. It would depend. That would require negotiation for information on behalf of Doomco.
Also,
I'll exchange answers for answers. How about that?
Siri, ma'am, I regret to inform you that at this current moment, due to the contraband we have found on station, and since you are the owner and you cannot feign ignorance in this case, you are now reprimanded into Doomco custody for the finding of a significant military armament of Arcanotech.
What now?
So
What's Arcanotech?
and I'm just gonna start. I'm just gonna pull out a little card out of my bag and actually read her rights. She's arrested.
As she's just looking very confused, as the thing that she's shot is the drone's still just standing there. Notedly, not only did it not react to the shot, you can actually see the bullet is on the floor at its feet.
Push it. It regenerated, right?
No, you didn't see it. Now that you think about it, it didn't pierce the skin.
So Arcanotech, there
It's just
are
like-
the crates in the warehouse rooms on the starboard side as we entered are filled with extremely illegal armaments.
Well, that was here when I got here.
Right, but you have given full intent and clarification that you are the owner.
Well, I never accessed the old owner's stuff. I didn't want to be accused of stealing it. Though apparently the pirates don't mind, since I think that's the boxes they were after.
So, as full owner, current owner of this facility, any further communications will have to be done with the lawyer present. But further cooperation will determine how far this will be.
Well, I'm not going to take the fall for the previous owner's merchandise, so I will have to get my lawyer in on that.
Which is completely understandable.
Right, but further cooperation, of course, can only help your case in this further. But as it looks like, I really don't know much, but with that amount of armament, whether you feign ignorance or not, it's life in prison.
A good stepping stone would be giving us access to your research clearance.
No.
Research or clearance, but not the research.
Blast is going to hold up his hands. If not the research, any documentation on records in your files as to the confirmation that they were here when you got here, have not accessed them, that kind of thing could be a major help towards you.
Well, once there is a warrant and my lawyer present, then you can access the systems to find out that when we got here, there was no records, as everything, including the coding to run the power system here, had been wiped clean.
But you say you have research clearance, correct? And that is the top of the food chain.
Well, once I got things rolling, I managed to find that some of the administrative systems were still alive. It looks like whatever clearing out the old owner did was done a little sloppily.
Well,
Like some of the lockers in here, not a single item was left. Some of the stuff up front left behind. The reactor system completely wiped of all of its software. The main security administrative system, no, it's Alliance. Took me hours to hack that.
As for your need for a warrant, that is negligible. There was an SOS emergency signal, and until we have resolved the emergency SOS...
Oh, I meant for accessing any of my files. Obviously, you've already illegally gone through my boxes, and that'll be a separate issue for the... Well, actually, they're not my boxes, so I guess I can't really complain, can I?
Right, and if they are your boxes and you're going to say we illegally went through them, then you were condemning yourself by saying that your boxes...
I'm going to point out that the search was illegal, but they're still not my boxes, so it's somebody else's problem.
Point out, on the technicality, as we were arriving to a armed enemy force, confirming and securing any weaponry crates, which as these were obviously military-grade storage crates, is a priority to keep out of enemy hands.
She's like, yeah, well, securing them, yes. Going through them, no. But either way, they're not actually my crates, so I guess I can't really complain too much she went through them, because I didn't even know what was in them. But
regardless...
I still can point out that whoever did own them, for them, the search would be illegal.
Regardless.
I'm just saying.
As management trainee Silco was asking about, we would like a copy, and several of them, for our superior officers and for Silco himself, researcher grade security passes, so we may...
I will decline until there is a warrant to actually access my computer systems. I don't want Doomgo getting a hold of my research information just because you showed up here with a SOS I didn't actually trigger. Though I'm still curious as to how did you
under
figure out how to
galactic
access
maritime
that?
law, we are going to either be given full security access, which would look extremely well upon you if you did so, considering your situation as the sole proprietor of this base, or we're going to start cutting our way through this place and wreaking untold damage to whatever you're doing here and whatever delicate research trying to find the location of the SOS. So either way...
Silco, I would like you to roll me on that lovely infused knowledge for me.
I was going to say, Blast, since Blast has been sitting here focusing on that thing for a moment, you know?
Yeah.
Is there any overriding
Nice.
command signal to this thing?
To what thing? Oh, to the creature?
Yeah, the drone.
I'm gonna need another influence test from you. Silco.
Mhm.
Sifa is running her mouth right now in ways that could very much get her in trouble with Doomco legal in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
And I'll-
necessarily. That's all.
No. Throwing away around weight like that without any authority, yes, you could, like, the Doomco could do a lot of things you're saying. However, without management permission, you actually would be responsible for all of it. And even if it resulted in an arrest, you would still be held heavily responsible. That's what his role was for.
And while
You're not aware of that. He is, because he actually got legal training.
I had to read the Maritime Galactic Law.
Oh, yeah.
what
So
my
I'm
compatriot
technically correct.
means is that we don't want to make things difficult. We're here to help you, help us.
Blast. To answer
Yep.
your question, now that you're looking, and now that you're really looking,
Mm-hmm.
there is some sort of network of minds that they are attached to. You can see communication constantly going back and forth between them, and it's all wiring to this location goes to this location, wiring confirmed. And there's a lot of high level communication happening about what they're working on. And they keep trying to send queries up the chain and then getting silenced before reporting no administrative unit detected, continuing with normal operations.
He's just going to. He's going to. It's. He's reaches up, rubs his temple for a minute. Miss Siri.
Hmm?
How thoroughly have you explored this facility?
Rather thoroughly.
Are there any regions that you have been unable to access?
Not at all.
Are there any regions that these drones seem unable to access?
Well, no, not as far as I can tell. They can get into the vents where I have to send drones to check them out, but otherwise, like, I haven't seen them have any issues accessing anything. Mind you, they do tend to go around security rather than through security. I've watched them crawl up to panels on a locked door, take it apart, rewire it, open it, and then fix the wiring. It's fascinating.
He's just going to be like, understood, looks to the sergeant.
Oh,
Private
wait. I think I know what you're asking. You're asking if they're part of the facility. No, they're not part of the facility.
He's just going to look at the sergeant. Private communication sarge and clicks over to the private helmet comms, you know?
Yeah, and he immediately switches over and he's like, what you got, Blast?
These drones are rewiring the facility, trying to connect to an administrator.
Interesting. She just said that they don't belong to the facility, though.
Which means, as they're all connected in a hive mind, they're trying to connect to something outside, most likely.
Huh. And if they connect to it, who knows how it's going to react to the fact that they're running around this place.
Considering the fact that this one basic drone took a small arms weapon at point blank without blinking and the bullet fell off its skin, this could be a greater threat.
Possibly.
Is this a communication like the squad's in on?
Depends, Blast. You just do this a one-to-one to the sergeant?
It's the private squad comm, so if they tapped into it, they could easily listen in.
Then yes, you guys can hear this on the squad comm.
Okay,
Which you
then
are-
they sent
which-
the drone
so you know-
sent the SOS.
just so you know, the squad comms are always active unless you specifically shut them off. Prior, like the way, like Doomco procedures say to always keep your squad comms active.
Which means the lieutenant is hearing all of this as well.
Yes, she can monitor any squad's communications, where there is a direct command line to her as well. But yeah, but the sergeant's just like, okay, so.
So they have no administrator unit like a hive without their queen. They sent the SOS trying to reach out to said individual, or at least give them a means to use a communication equipment.
Maybe. Blast, could you check to see what the SOS was about with their... it sounds like there's some sort of communication going on that you can access. Can you see if you can find out what the SOS was directed about?
He'll just nod. I do not know how they will react, so weapons trained.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it.
He's just going to step up to the drone.
She's like watching you. She's like, oh, I mean, have at it as much as you want. These things, there's dozens of them, and they're easy enough to replace.
He's just going to step up to it and mentally request query.
You have the right mental frequency, so it immediately turns to its attention to you. Unknown mental patterns. Confirmed. Unknown biological entity. Checking records. Records confirmed. Mining unit. Owner. Owner. Owner query. Registered owner. Rictal. Query. Has Rictal sent you?
He's just going to... It's the hold. It looks at private comm to the sergeant. It's requesting to know if we were sent by its owner. This individual seems to be a mining unit.
Don't know anything about that. Interesting. Mining unit.
I will try to query for more information. Looks back to the drone. Species of Rictal.
Request registered. Awaiting response from mining unit. Owner Rictal. Has Rictal sent you? When it sends this, it seems to have clarified further in its mental communication. It's not talking about it. It's talking about you.
Oh, it's referring to me as a mining unit.
It wasn't as clear the first time, but it seems when you asked another question without clarifying its question, it clarified at you.
He's just going to be like, Sarge, this is weird. It's defining me as mining unit.
What? Why would it call you a mining unit?
Last, what sector is your species from? As he kind of just does that scholastic knowledge in his head. It's like, what part of the sector are you from?
He'll give coordinates right on the border of Federation bug and metal ship space. Like he's right on the corner.
He's right on the intersection between what is known as the Cutters, Dynasty, and Federation. To give you species names. Yeah.
Oh, and his species is thriving.
Yeah. It's weird. His species is yeah. So yeah, he's put himself smack right on into the territory that got uncovered once they pushed back Cutters.
He's just going to be like, one moment, I'm going... he's just going to look at the sergeant. Permission to query a more knowledgeable individual on the ship.
He's like, go for it, see what you can do. I'm not sure what we're dealing with right now.
He's just going to page sound that echoes through caves in the earth. Yes, I wrote that fucking down.
Yes, you did.
It's a cool name.
I actually have his name and then the other one's names on my character list, so I don't forget them.
Resend me the other one's name because I forgot to write it down.
Here,
If
I'll
you
just
would.
make. They don't have pictures available because I haven't found a good picture for them, but I'll make it available for you guys, so you can just find it in the character list.
Okay. But yeah, he's just going to page sounds.
It's just. There will be. I'm actually going to need an influence test from you to boost your mental signal out far enough. You know he could communicate with you from this distance, but it's a little harder for you to do it.
Oh yeah.
There's kind of a pause, and you can feel the message has gone out. It will take a second for it to get to him because you're weaker than him, but you're pretty sure it's going to make it. In the meantime, while you're waiting, the unit does go. Final request. Has mining unit been sent by Master Rictal?
Is just going to look at it. Negative request or no, he wouldn't say that. He's just going to be like, query acknowledged, hold requesting confirmation from command.
There's a pause before querying administration for permission. Administration not located. Querying secondary authority source. Querying. Security unit located. Summoning security unit to continue interrogations and communications.
Is just going to be like, the shit. Looks at Siri. Siri, have you seen anything other than these drones?
Well, yes.
Crap. Looks at the
I mean,
rest.
they don't do anything. They do even like at least the drones. You can tell them to move around and do stuff, and they'll just go and do it for the most part.
He's just going to look at the sergeant, because this one has summoned a security unit to request to continue the, as it put it, interrogation. I'm still waiting for a reply from the cutter I contacted.
He's like, right. And he's gonna tap out of the private. He's like, it looks like it's called one of the security units. Do you know anything about that? And she's like, security. Oh, that must be what the second form is then. Yes. It's never done anything. It's only ever stood in one spot, but they've never reacted any more than the rest have. So he's like, great, because apparently it just called one up. What do they? And before you can finish asking what they look like, you hear the sound of something banging out of a vent. Hard. As this thing emerges. It looks a lot like the other one, with a few notable changes. If you wanna, yeah. He's a little bit bigger than them. And it kind of pushes, like, it physically pushes Rick and them out of the way. Not hard, just whoosh. And it stomps up, shoves this thing out of the way, and stops in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Information requested. Identifying unit. Minor. Number. Unknown. Species. Mining slave. Owner. Rictal. Identify self. Have you been sent by Rictal?
Oh, well then.
And
Hey,
as... As it asks that, you do get an answer from Echoes. What did you ask him exactly?
Weird drone things communicating psionically, and shit, it just called a security thing asking if I have been sent by Rick Tall.
An answer does come back with a little more urgency in its tone than you're used to from a cutter as it goes, security from... He's asked if you belong to Rick Tall. You're sure? And they communicate only
Positive.
psionically.
Yes.
Did it-
Advice, please? Is this big one that I'm assuming security is stomping up to me?
Tell it you work for Rick Tall. Do it now.
He's like, query confirmed. Yes, I work for Rick Tall.
And there's a pause before he goes, confirmed. Demand of Rick Tall's slave. Administrative unit must be built. Materials gathered. Your task sent. And you will get implanted almost directly in your mind, unless you try to fight it, will be information.
He'll try, he'll accept the information, but try to lock it away to where it's not a commanding thing.
There's no command attached to it. It is an information list. It's just
Okay.
information with no compulsions attached.
All right.
It seems to... You get the impression from it, it is expecting a different compulsion to force you to obey. As for the list, it's all chemicals and materials and minerals, and you don't know enough about chemical science to know what this list is.
It's just going to reply, list received, command understood.
Collection begins immediately. And it's going to look at the drone, and you'll feel it sends that as a proper command to it. And it skitters, and you hear skittering everywhere as they start coming out of vents and all flooding out the front door.
He's just going to be like, I'm going to call it Cutter so that I don't have to repeat the name every time. He's just going to be like, Cutter, I just got a list of materials, orders to gather them. It's sending all the drones on a similar thing. They're heading back towards the docking clamps. And it's for the purpose of building an admin unit.
He's like, I'm not surprised. Hopefully it'll return to whatever post it selected for itself. You have found yourself in a problem. I can't tell you more. What I can tell you is that the collective is sending a ship. Inform your employer on site, your on-site supervisor. I'm already informing Duco corporate. The collective is going to take command of that site. And you're going to want to let them.
He's like, understood.
Is the big guy, security, is going to just crawl out.
He's just going to look at the sergeant and go, Sergeant, I recommend we and everybody here report to the lieutenant immediately. As
Lieutenant's voice comes over the comms, what the fuck are these things coming out of that area?
Lieutenant, it's just immediately, Lieutenant, do not engage. Fair warning. Corporate is already being informed. The collective is sending a vessel to take over.
That's interesting. We're in alliance space. Oh, that's gonna cause a different. Oh, fuck me. We are. Wait, I'm getting an alert from the ship. And as you're kind of standing there for a minute, listen, and like, just, Sirius gonna go, what did you say to them? Because I've never seen them move with that much urgency, except... Well, I have, but it was when I gave them instructions to do certain things, and they jumped to it like a fire got lit underneath their ass.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can say more. Simply to say, this is out of my hands.
And the lieutenant's voice is going to come over the comms. Get to the ships now. We're pulling out immediately.
Understood. Are we to bring the individuals with us?
If you can, I don't care. We're leaving now. Move!
Blast is just going to step up and go, "Ma'am, if you want to live, please come with me." And he's going to pick her up and start hauling ass.
Yeah, you guys know I've been given official commands to fuck off.
Yep.
So-
Blast is full tilt running down the hallway with Siri in his arms.
For reasons of not popping around on maps for no reason, I'm going to do some theater of the mind for this part.
Huzzah.
So as you guys are making your way through, you pass by the drones who are grabbing those barrels in the main cargo and hauling them wholesale down the hallway. You see some of them are actually ripping up some deck plates even and bringing them with them. They're just grabbing shit. When you get out to the landing pad, it doesn't take you particularly long to get there, but you see that they've already spun up. It's empty space out there, but Doomco ships are stark white, so it's not too hard to find where one is. And as you guys are loading in, and you kind of look out to where your ship is, you see a flash, and then another flash, and then several other flashes. And now the lieutenant is cussing as she's encouraging the pilots to go faster. You guys can tap into external cameras to see what's going on outside. Normally, they might stop you from doing that, but not right now. Everybody's a little too busy. As you guys are watching, you find out that those flashes were ships entering into system on a pirate point. Those flashes are followed up with a lot of heavy ship-to-ship fighting. You're only about halfway to the ship before the lieutenant calls for everybody to turn around. And you guys can watch as you're falling back as one of the frigates that was escorting your ship goes up in flames. And the transport you were on, along with the remaining frigate, jump out in an emergency jump. And the lieutenant just hopped into the first shuttle she could, kind of pauses before... All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be heading back to those crew quarters. We're going to seal ourselves up, and we're going to hold. It seems that the Royal Brigands work for the Pirate King, and that would be his personal fleet. So, we're gonna sit tight until corporate arrives.
Did I receive any further notification from my friendly neighborhood cutter?
No, they are quiet. If you send a communication out, they'll probably answer. But for now, everything's quiet. You aren't bothered on your way back in, though you can hear as you're passing by the pirates in the little cargo hall laughing at you. They don't stop you, they don't try to impede. But this seems to be amusing to them.
Are they in the central section?
No, they're still in their section. They're not impeding you guys going through. It seems that they know what's going on, and they find it funny.
I'm gonna go to the lieutenant. Lieutenant. So the only time that I could possibly do this, but maybe a little bit of information and let's just say video proof. Considering that if they're coming in, this is the only moment I'm going to have to do it. I want to put a single camera in the corner of those 2 cargo holds filled with all that illegal gear. I want to see if that's what they're here for and if they go right to it. And so we can keep an eye on if they do end up taking that equipment.
Just do it.
Yeah, and I'll just book my way over.
Roll me a tech use. Feel free to move you guys back to where you want to be in the room, as a lot of Doomco security guards are about to be in here with you.
Yeah.
Flash is just going
This
to...
is also the other opportunity for me to steal 2 more crates.
What are you stealing?
Knives and swords, if I can find them.
Yep, there's knives and swords, easily stolen.
Just anything else, like any... I want a full set is why. Of everything.
Oh, I understand.
Flash is just positioning himself in a corner where you can cover the entire room.
And I'll set the cameras up in the corners and be like, Sergeant, tell me if you can receive the video feed.
It'll take a second for him to make sure everything's good. And he's like, "Yep, got it."
All right, I'm gonna seal the room. Do you want me to burn the wiring on the doors or just lock it up tight?
Just lock it up tight for the moment.
Roger, on my way.
A quiet message to the lieutenant. Be advised, Lieutenant. Researcher Siri here seems to know how to and have access to certain hidden pathways.
Confirmed. Once you guys are all gathered into one spot, back where you, in here, Lieutenant's gonna kind of look you guys over and be like, "Alright. I'm gonna tell you all what's going on here. Frankly, it's not good. For those who are unaware, there is a being known as the Pirate King. They run pretty much the underworld. The pirates, he's the only one that the pirates actually listen to. And this is because he's powerful. He has a battleship of unknown design that has been well known to take on anyone in the galaxy. He has taken on everything from Doomco ships to Alliance battleships, and we know he even raids the Cutters and the Dynasty. In short, we're fucked. For a while, anyway. Good news is, he doesn't just kill people. Bad news is, we're unofficially hostages from here on out. The way this is likely going to go, we are, most likely, all going to be ransomed back to Doomco. We aren't really going to have a choice. It doesn't matter that he doesn't directly have us at gunpoint, because he will be more than happy to destroy this entire facility to go through the threat, if necessary. Our task in this is not to antagonize them. You can keep an eye on them. We don't have to obey them. They're not going to come in here if they can help it. They're here for something, and they're probably going to grab it, do their shtick, and then leave. Until that's done, we're staying out of their way. Does everybody understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Blast is just
I have
like,
enabled the security turrets outside. You want me to leave them on or keep them off?
Leave them on.
Blast is just going to be like, look to the lieutenant, and this is why I keep a backpack of ration bars.
I hope you all did bring rations. No offense, I don't want us to run out of food here if the station's not well equipped. The Siri goes, oh no, it's very well equipped. I have food replicators even. She's like, huh. Alright. Well, I suppose, and then she stops as scurrying past things, having apparently already tampered with some of the security systems. More of the skittering drones start passing through, carrying those barrels.
That's a problem.
Blast is just going to be, Lieutenant, as a word of advisement, I contacted sounds that echo through caves in the earth, as these were psionic in nature, and he was the highest ranking psionic individual I knew to get advice on them, as they seem to recognize my species.
So the drones I have there is just basically a stream of them going back and forth. I just don't feel like constantly moving them.
Yep. He's just going to be like, based on the impression I got from how alert my cutter friend became when I informed him of this, it would be advisable to not interfere with them.
In all likelihood, a good idea. Where did these things come from, exactly? And after kind of a pause here, he's like, I would like to keep my intellectual property, and she's just, I get the feeling they're not your property. And Sarah pauses and goes, yeah, I'm trying to get that impression too. I don't think anybody here is going to understand it. I mean, none of you geneticists, right? No, it can't be geneticists. Why would you be in security if you're geneticists?
Blast just points to one particular individual who's
Yeah,
made
couple
comments
fingers
about
go towards the guy.
geneticists.
As two of your companions are making assumptions about the doctor and one of the doctors in the room, because that's not been confirmed to anybody yet.
He's just made cracks about geneticism
Yeah,
several
he
times,
has.
so we're
Several
making
times.
assumptions.
So we're just like, eh.
So Silco, apparently you're being looked at right now by your companions.
Blast will just
No,
be
I'm
like,
just gonna point out and be like, he's our medic. He might know.
and Blast is just going to be like, try, considering I, as you put it, am just security, was able to know more and understand more of these things than you did with the time you had to research them. You may be surprised.
You know, that's fair. She's gonna look at Silco. Everybody's volunteering you. Do you want to be volunteered? As the last of the drones stop trickling through, carrying their metal and barrels.
I'm a scientist. I never said I was a geneticist. I know a few things.
Well, you know what? That's gonna be easier to explain if I. You know what? Screw it. Whatever. Come on, follow me. And she's gonna start walking this way.
Silco's just gonna look at the lieutenant and be like,
Go. Blast, you're gonna be keeping an eye on him. Siva, you. She picks a small squad for you guys.
Blast will just follow.
Then Siva's just, oh, Rick, as he starts getting up to follow, just you and your men can stay up here. I'm sure I'll be safe with the Toonco employees. And he's like, oh, if you insist. And
Last chuckle's
She's-
safer than the one who shot me in the face.
she's gonna walk over here, put her hand on the wall, and after a pause, and Silco, you can feel she has some sort of device, a security device on her that sends out a burst code when she touches it. Cybernetic by the feel of it.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, I forgot to put the walls around that.
I'm guessing it's an
Whatever.
elevator.
Yeah, it's an elevator hidden in the wall.
Oh, that creepy moon asteroid base vibes right there.
She's like, right? So I found this when I first got here, and while I don't really care much about the whole, secret base thing, it was. Oop, there we go. Yeah, just gather up real quick so I can.
I'm just
copy
gonna
these
pause and be
people.
like,
Blast just curls up in
there's
a
only-
corner.
so much.
Yeah, I'll send the elevator back up for the others of you. And then she'll just hit the button.
What floor?
There's only one floor.
That's disheartening.
Blast just squeezing against the wall.
Yeah.
I'm
It's tight.
gonna look over to the other two guys. Anyone need a smoke?
Blast is just going to loom
Yeah, I think I need
closer.
I think I need a drink. Alright. Sorry, I had to make sure everybody is arranged, right? As boop. And I will open
Oh
up.
my god, there's another floor? What?
Yeah.
Oh, it's huge too. Damn.
Blast is
First
going
load
to
of
hurry
people.
out.
The series like, come on, clear the way, and I will get the other down as a small squad of you are together here.
Hello. Try.
Hello. So let's see. Let's get you guys onto the map.
Oh, you're gaming. Never
We
mind.
are
sorry.
We are unfortunately in the wrong channel, friends. We should be in the RPG in session channel, not in the just
Oh,
chilling
you are correct. Let's hop over to the RPG in session real quick.
See you guys later.
Yep.
Here, Johnny. Right. Sorry about that. So, then you guys get transported down. The series like, welcome to my laboratory! Evil laughter here or something. I don't know.
Blast is just giving her the eye.
What? Can't I have a little fun with having a secret lab?
If it weren't for the massive pirate armada out front, I would have no problem with it. I am a little stressed. I have been shot in the face and trapped on a space station.
You should look into trying gene modding yourself for some regeneration if you've been shot in the face recently. It's very useful. I've got regeneration. It's lovely. But there is a so Silco, going through this, you recognize all of these monitors.
I figured as much. It's a research station. I get that.
It is, looking at it, this is the remote access for general monitoring. But she's doing a lot in here. And she's just gonna keep going. She's like, come. Let's get to the main lab. As one of the guards is like, I'll keep an eye on the elevator.
Well, if you insist, we're going on an adventure.
The sergeant's like, no, we need to have a rear guard. That way you can at least warn off if somebody tries to fuck with a... Oh. As you guys start walking into the main lab. She's like, welcome to my laboratory.
Silco's just going to have a quick glance and then kind of see these guys at the end here.
Oh, yes. Well, them at the end, them right there. She's like, right. So, explanations, I suppose.
Please.
So
Just
I
setting my
found,
armor to record everything I see.
so I found this facility while I was doing a little. I was looking for somewhere to set up shop. I was a part of this archaeology dig for a while ago, and I found this container containing samples of something. I wasn't sure at the time what it was, as she's typing away in this computer here. I was curious, and I had to find a lab. And while I was doing a little bopping around in my ship, looking for somewhere I could park for a bit just to do some basic work there, try to get an idea of what we're dealing with, I found this facility. It was all nice and set up for cloning and gene work already, so I figured what better place to look at weird gene samples than a proper military grade facility, right?
That nobody was currently using. That's fully operational.
Well, no, it wasn't fully operational. It had clearly been shut down, but nobody was using it.
How'd you find it?
I may have run out of fuel when I came into system.
So luck. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I was. I may have not been supposed to have taken the sample I took off the site. And I may or may not have been avoiding security patrols and police patrols and anyone with official, alliance company markings on them. Point is, I was, traveling around, and it was complete luck. I found this by dumb luck. I probably, if I hadn't found this place, would be dead right now, cold from having my life support system having shut off when the power ran out. Or in jail, one of the two. But I found this place instead.
So you had 2 samples then?
No.
They evolve?
No. I have 4 samples total.
Ah, I see.
The first sample I tried was, as it turns out, the drones. They were the one on top, so I figured, take them out, see what's going on. I put them under a microscope, and how much do you actually know about genetics and microbiology and things like that?
He's a scientist.
Well, she's asking him directly.
Yes, I cannot confirm nor deny what I know.
Well, I can't confirm or deny a lot of things, and yet we're still in my gene lab, so...
Yes, I have I have knowledge.
Can you understand this as she pulls up onto the screen in front of her a bunch of information? Go ahead, Silco, and roll me your biology.
Sounds good. Keen infuses give me a +1 to the DOS,
Yep.
so let's just see what happens. And a pass.
Okay. The code in front of you doesn't look right for what you would expect for DNA, and you figure it out pretty quick. It has a junk data sheath on it. That makes it so you can't just look at it under a microscope. It's almost like what you would expect from a virus to have its own little shell.
That is quite fascinating. In another
Right.
life, I would have known what that means. Wink.
She's like, oh, so you do get it. Okay. That makes it easier to explain then. So, I figured, with this, since I can't actually tell what I'm dealing with, I thought, well, let's get an isolated tube, feed some materials inside, and see how it reacts. And I made sure that I hired some guards before I started it. I got this lab, all of its security running with all of its automated guns and the like. And then I did it just to see how it reacted. And when I got the right materials in, it started replicating itself. And I was able to get a bit of a look at it while it was doing that. Because, you know, for the replication process, the shield on it had to pull away. And I found that it was constructing some sort of bio drone thing.
You're a little bit of a mad scientist, aren't you?
I think I'm perfectly sane.
But
Because
you
I
didn't.
made very careful sure that when I did this, I wasn't going to die horribly to the thing.
But you didn't think of the consequences, correct?
Well, I was considering the consequences when I did it.
I see.
Some of them. Anyway, point is, I wanted to find out what they were, and I mean, the dig site was one that had been sealed up for who knows how long. The very fact that it survived was impressive. I figured it had to have been some species trying to make sure that they continued on. You know, made sure they didn't die out after some cataclysm or something. Like a gene vault.
A gene vault.
That's what I assumed.
And you got this from the Alliance?
Yeah, they were doing some excavations, and I was on site to help with some of
Right.
the other.
Right.
I was mostly there to make sure that we weren't letting go any viruses that were going to kill everybody. So I ran the experiment, and I produced one of the drones, and it didn't do anything. Didn't respond to any commands. It didn't react when you touched it, when you attacked it. It just nothing. They're very tough to hurt. But even if you manage to actually break the skin, which I had to use a digging, like one of those metal saws to do it, some digging equipment, it still didn't react. So I got in contact with some friends in the business, got word around, and eventually I got a hold of somebody that got me the translation talismans. And when I gave them orders, they obeyed. No problems. I asked them to move crates, they moved crates. I asked them to move beams, they moved beams. I asked them to repair something, they took it apart, figured out how it worked, and put it back together. At least that's what I assumed they were doing. It looked like they were learning. After a while, I asked them to build. I was curious as to what they would do. And then they dug out a hole in the back wall and started building themselves something. We can go take a look if you like. I don't know what it is. It's like a combination of... It's like they process the minerals through their body, produce this weird slurry that becomes a sort of concrete material. It's very uncomfortably warm. And then they built walls and tunnels and some sort of machinery, and they kept working.
Out of character, do we know anything about this admin unit from Blast?
I believe
he explained
Blast
it,
said
right?
about it. What he knows, anyway.
All he said is that they have hyper sped up their goal to build an admin unit.
So you have 4 separate samples, right?
She's like, yes, these third sample, I went through. I decided not to go immediately to the second sample because honestly, I expected the second sample to be like security or a combat drone or something, and I didn't really want to wake that up. So I tried the third sample in the line, and I got the big guys with the multi arms, which turned out to be the combat ones. So apparently, they weren't in quite the order I expected them to be.
And you haven't done the fourth one, right?
Nope, haven't gotten to that experiment or the second one at that.
Well,
Both I've got 2 samples I have yet to access.
where are those samples now?
Oh, I've got them right over here and right here. She'll just hit a button on this. This is a little cold locker. It opens up and it's empty. Oh, that's not good.
Yup. You know that
Um,
thing where after the communication with my friend here, the security robot went, "Oh, you know what would be good? An administrator unit. Tell them all what to do." And then when he communicated with his friend, a cutter went all panicky.
That, generally speaking, doesn't sound like the best thing.
So let's just say the science experiment is no longer under your control.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's out of control or anything. Blast.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me a willpower test with your mental resistance.
You're not working. Get to work.
First influence. Here's hoping. Ooh.
Oh wow, you were
So an
killing
additional
it.
6.
Very nice. So you
So
are
7 degrees of success.
so you yeah, no, as you're kind of standing there and they're having this conversation, it's like, I wouldn't say it's out of control. You feel a psionic command roll over the building that is definitely the others probably won't notice it as they're not psionically active. That's the good
Mhm.
news. But for a psionically active creature, it's big. And it's just, Administrator has been activated. All drones and slaves are to report for duty immediately. Production for additional units is to accelerate immediately. Acquisition of new biological materials for reproduction is authorized.
Blast is just going to look at everybody. Everybody, back to the hold.
As these combat
Yep,
units
that's
are
that admin unit, ain't it? Okay, nope. I'm
as
fucking
these
out of this.
combat units start moving down this way, and it's just as you guys start heading out, Siri's like, "Oh yeah, no, that might be a good idea."
He's
You
just
just
going
hear,
to be like,
Shit,
immediately.
Administrative overrides activated. Accessing psionic links to facility. Acknowledged. Security lockdown initiated. And Matt, before you start getting into that, you watch as that door shuts with a bulkhead.
He's just going to page the lieutenant with a quick lieutenant.
As you're going in, she's already on the comms going, it looks like some sort of security lockdown has activated. All personnel are to return to the canteen immediately.
He's like, Lieutenant, be advised, we have been locked in the lab. Secondary advisement. If you know anything about this, an admin has become active.
It's kind of a pause before she's like, well, shit. I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound good.
I'm
For
about
now,
to page my cutter.
for
Hope he will
now,
reply.
hold position. Do not engage unless engaged upon.
Advisement, the admin has authorized the acquisition of further biomass for the facilitation of expanded production of drone force.
Oh, that's probably not good.
Yeah, and I'm going to page the cutter desperately because I've got that link, you know.
So right now, there's a lot of psionic energy rolling about. You're not going to be able to get the distance you need.
I can still fucking try. It
I'm gonna
may
try
take
this
a
door.
while, but you know what I mean?
You may roll if you like, but without a 1, you are literally not going to make progress.
He's gonna try. Nope. It's one of those. He's got to try otherwise. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's fine. So, Matt, you and the guard that are in there are actually going to have doors shut on you.
Oh, well, shit.
As the guy was with you, he was like, that's not good, right?
No. Worst case scenario has been realized. Those skitter creatures, they got a boss up and running. Now it's giving orders, and somehow it's able to take control of this place. Fortunately, we have about a brief moment of rest, but that's gonna change. Consider those skitter things no longer docile.
Got it. I thought we get back to the squad.
Yeah, give me a moment while I get this door open. Cover my
Well-
back, please.
He's like, yep, gotcha.
And I'm gonna try and get the door open.
The blast door that sealed over the elevator has big quarantine words on it, by the way.
I'm talking about the
Oh, I
door.
know. I'm just letting you know. Go ahead and roll me that. Go ahead and roll me that security to bypass it.
It's like, and in my communication to the lieutenant, I'm just gonna be like, Lieutenant, to get back to you, I need to carve through a blast door. Do I have authorization?
Yeah, there's a big quarantine sign up here. Check what quarantine procedures are with this Siri woman.
Looks over. Siri, what are quarantine procedures?
Oh,
this
they
facility.
cut power to the elevator, seal the bulkhead on all the doors leading to the gene lab. It's all to make sure nobody can get in or out. Automated weapons in the dormitory will shoot on anybody that comes up from there, regardless of security clearance.
Passes all of this along to the lieutenant.
She's like, right, now I'm gonna step in there then. For now, get into a secure position. Civil, you'll need to re-roll, because that does not cut it. Silco, blast. The 2 drones at the end of that tunnel have moved away and been replaced with combat units.
Yup.
You can hear scurrying and scuttling.
Blast is just, Lieutenant, as these things seem to be highly resistant to projectiles, do I have authorization to use my other weapon if necessary?
Confirmed.
And the Doc is going to get to see Blast unwrap and ready a thermal lance.
Matt, you gonna re-roll that security for me?
But that's scrutiny, not security. Let's reselect. Damn, wiring not where it's supposed to be. No,
Yep, that
Hold on.
pops it.
oh, there it goes. Whew.
Yeah, this has definitely been rewired on you.
Okay.
I do want to remind you that you can hear what I'm saying to the lieutenant and the warning of the security turrets that have activated on the path to the dormitory.
That's not what he's hacking, but thank you.
Well,
Wait,
he was
everyone.
saying he was heading back there, is why I was saying it.
Ah, yes.
They never put the wires back where they're supposed to.
These wires don't even look like the original wires. They're not even colored.
Oh no.
They're gray.
One sec, guys. These, somebody remove the wire colors from, Hmm.
They don't. When you touch them, they're warm.
Hmm.
And that is another door for you. Blast!
Mm-hmm.
The two combat units start advancing down the pathway.
Blast is just going to take cover behind the terminal and recommend that everybody take cover behind as well. Do not engage unless prior engaged, and looks at the scientist and simply wraps a tail around her and holds her up behind it.
She's like, oh, yeah, okay. And these two are advancing down the thing with a very determined gait. You're tapped in enough to be able to hear them as they say, suitable biologicals identified, retrieving
expected.
biomass.
I'd expected.
Just going to be like, Lieutenant's going to have to engage security models.
Engage.
He's going to look at them, focus fire, do not let them close.
Alright, and that will be a... Matt, you will be opening this door as that engages.
Because the blast is opening up.
I'm going to need, initiatives.
Of course.
Let's see. This is for the guy. Oh. Now the rest of Doomco's gonna be going slow. Let's see. Wow, she's gonna just. All right, that's great. All right.
What was the name that they kept asking that if I was sent by?
Rectal.
Rectal. Because I have an idea in case shit goes absolutely tits up.
Sorry, I'm making sure I have all their shit written down before we start.
Ooh,
Look at you.
yeah, not bad. I got my agility at a decent score because I'm afraid to get hit in any of Liam's games.
Yeah, that's usually a fair thing. That is usually fair.
You should have seen Mechania. Oh my god. I bought every single survival skill and or talent that I can get my hands on in just all the Warhammer books available. I was really hard to kill. Also, I played like a pussy all the time.
Yeah, it was, and you lived. You lived, motherfucker.
I think now's a good time to have a cliffhanger too, guys.
Oh, is it?
It's 11:44.
Oh, well, that's why I had sent you a message asking.
Oh, I didn't even
how
see
long
a
we had
message.
left.
My bad.
Yeah, I sent you a message a bit ago being like, how long we got left, did ya?
Yeah, we should probably.
Well, I'm not going to have you guys swap on the turn order or anything. I'm not going to have you re-roll. We'll keep those rolls. But yep, that's where we're going to end tonight.
Well, shit.
Well, shit indeed.
5 or 10.
Merit.
What was that? Oh, we're going to go 5 for this one, and then the next one. The next session should be us wrapping this up, depending on how long it takes you guys to get through the mission. So you'll get a hefty chunk of merit at that. Right?
Cool.
Sounds good.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you guys for playing.
Thanks
I
for
hope
having
you
us.
had fun.
Yep.
I
it was epic.
apologize. I apologize that it was less clear about how I was having the assault rifles and automatic weapons work at the start of this.
Hey, it's
I
no
will-
worries.
I'll make sure that that is written down within the. I'll put it on the equipment information so that you guys can be able to easily reference it. But all automatic weapons will have their pen stack and their damage stack per shot that hits. So that'll be fun.
Hmm.
Yep.
And yeah, so I like how you guys immediately started seeing where this was going to go horribly wrong.
Yup.
Yeah. Oh, it's like out of an episode of sci-fi. Oh, I
As you
could taste it. I was like, I know where this is going.
as you're like watching it go steadily wronger and wronger,
He's
and
like,
you're
I got
like,
4 samples. I'm like, where are them samples at right now? Oh, they're right. Oh,
"Oh, that's not good." You don't say. All right.
Well, until next time.
Until next time, my guys.
Yep.
See you tomorrow.
I'm
Talk
gonna
to y'all later.
be up for a bit to talk about some Mech Warrior before we get tomorrow. If you guys want to stay on, but I know Johnny, you gotta go.
Yeah.
I'll be around
I
for a bit.
Out.